Hi, year 8. I'm going to talk to you today about your assignment that you've just been set and to give you a little bit of guidance. First of all, welcome to my house. I'm not in work today because Oliver, as you can see behind me, is a little bit poorly. Listen, your assignment is all about medieval history and how that medieval period, this is the important bit, has impacted upon today's world. Now, in class, we've been talking about big themes and big questions and big issues. Remember, we're talking about power, we're talking about money, we're talking about religion, we're talking about war, maybe love. All of those things happened in medieval times and they happen today. So I want you to start thinking about what you've learned about in class and how that can impact upon what you're growing up in now, the world you're growing up in today. So it's all about inquiry-based learning. Inquiry-based learning is what I'm going to be talking about today. So you're making an inquiry, and in your answer, you've got to be analytical. That means you've got to explain reasons for what you're talking about. Now, we'll do some scaffolding obviously in class, but if I use an example that we've not covered yet in class, you can go and do a little bit of research about the Crusades. Right? The Crusades, wars between the Christians and the Muslims around about 1,000 years ago, because there was a whole bunch of argy-bargy about who controls the city of Jerusalem. Should it be the Christians? Should it be the Muslims? Should it be the Jews? Should it be shared? Now, typically, being religious, they couldn't actually agree to things. So for around about 200-300 years, there were a whole bunch of battles, thousands and thousands and thousands of people got killed. For what? Nothing, really. The Christians didn't take the city back, and at the end, the Muslims said, yeah, come on, you can visit, you can have some time and spend some time in the holy city, the holy land where Jesus died. Now, if we reflect on those crusades and why the kings and why the leaders wanted to go crusade, we can reflect upon why people or why leaders or why countries go to war today. What is it that makes a country want to go to war? You're growing up with a war in Afghanistan, right? I've been working while there's been wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. Why are we there? Right? In Iraq, maybe we're fighting a war because we're supporting allies. We have friends. So we have friends in Britain and America, and we want to help them. In Afghanistan, it's the same. Maybe we're fighting a war to try to make the world more peaceful. That sounds a bit weird, doesn't it? A war to make peace. Maybe if we reflect back to the Crusades, they were doing it for similar reasons. Maybe, though, different reasons. Maybe a king wanted to make a name for himself. Maybe a pope, you know, the leader of the church. Maybe the pope wanted to make a name for himself. Maybe today, an American president wants to make a name for himself. People go to war to make themselves famous. I was the leader who recaptured Jerusalem. I was the leader who recaptured Iraq and got all the oil money and kept it all to myself and made my country even richer. So there we go. Big themes, big issues. Maybe money, oil, power, land. All those reasons are applicable. Maybe distraction. What about that one? Distraction. Right? If it's all going bad in your country, maybe you say, oh, I'll tell you what, let's have a war. Let's go and have a war against somebody else, and we'll forget about all the problems in our country because we'll pick on somebody else, and that'll make us all feel better. That happened in the Middle Ages. All the knights, Christians, fighting against each other. England, France, Germany, they're all warring. Not very good, is it? I know, the Pope says, let's go and fight the Muslims. Right? All the knights think, oh, that's a good idea. Let's put our weapons down and go and fight a different enemy. Pope likes it, we'll get some sins forgiven by God. All of that, what a reason to go and fight. So, in your assignment, think about how you can get the content linked to the question. I'll do another upload in a few minutes and we'll talk about how you can form a question relating to the topic that you're going to include. And this has obviously been the Crusade, so we'll stay on that theme in just a moment.